And then here I am quitting my job at 50 to start 5 freaking YouTube channels. It's mental. But we are here this morning recognizing and celebrating our small victories. So if you're starting YouTube on your own right now, whether you're 20, 40, 50 years old, stop on by. We can compare notes. We can cry a little together. I want you to do something with me, identifying and celebrating the small wins, whether you're a small YouTube channel or like myself, you quit your job at 50 for YouTube, not just for one channel, but for 5. Woke up this morning and we now have 3 of the 5 channels up over 100 subscribers. And I want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for kind of following along. It really does mean a lot to me, especially because I am jumping out into something that I'm not quite sure how that's going to go. So it's been a little over a month since I indicated to my boss at the job that I'm at that it's just not going to work out and then I'm going to leave. And I did tell them that I will stay as long as it takes for them to find a suitable replacement, which shouldn't be too hard to find somebody. And it's only been a few months since I set up these channels, just simply because I knew where things were headed. I just wanted to take a chance on myself, to invest in myself, to bet on myself, to do something that I've always really had an interest and a joy in doing. And that's basically creating on YouTube. I thought it was going to be one channel, which is our hub channel, but it turns out that I think the best way to go forward with everything that I'm wanting to do is to split up all of the topics that I am interested in, whether it's DIY, it's entertainment, which includes like gaming, music, videos, breaking down technology, food and eats. I love food, eating it, making it, doing food reviews, and then we're doing a sports channel as well. And I thought breaking all 4 of those up into their own channel is probably the smartest way to go for people to consume that information. And then what used to be my catch-all, talk about everything, talk to every different person that's out there, is now my hub channel, which includes everything. So overnight, 2 of those channels hit their little mini milestones. Our entertainment channel, which includes the music, movies, technology, that has finally reached 100 subscribers. I just really started putting content to that seriously within the last maybe couple months. And then my DIY channel is just now hitting 300 subscribers. And that's one channel that I'll talk a little bit more about right now, in a sense that when I started all of this, DIY wasn't really a genre that I was wanting to get into. It wasn't the niche that I was thinking, hey, I want to do content on YouTube about. Where I started to think about this outside of the box is I am constantly doing DIY stuff around our house. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to know everything. I'm barely knowledgeable over tools, but where I am good at in that case is the discovery phase, in sharing things that I learn myself and then taking that and translating it into some kind of a video, some kind of a short, to where I'm including other people that are like me, that are kind of just weekend DIYers, and sharing the knowledge and the ups and the downs of fixing things around the house. Really, it's giving people like myself the encouragement and empowerment to say, hey, you can fix the same stuff also. You don't need somebody else. You don't need to go pay for it. All you need are maybe some basic tools and a little push from somebody like me on YouTube to kind of step you through a few things, or at least making you believe that you can fix it without having to go out and buy a brand new whatever, dishwasher, dryer, AC unit. And yes, all of those I have fixed in the last few months. And so the DIY channel really goes back to prior to 2025 kicking off. We had an ice maker, one of those tabletop ice makers in our kitchen that had just started to leak for some reason. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to have to buy a whole new ice maker. I don't know if I mean, are these fixable or not? I mean, the old Brian, prior to kids, prior to, you know, wife going through cancer and all that good stuff, it would just be like, okay, ice maker leaking, throw it away, buy a new one on Amazon, right? That's what a lot of us do. But because we really couldn't do that, I had to figure out a way to fix it. And our particular ice maker, I didn't think there would be any kind of instructions, people out there talking about how to fix it. Got on YouTube, not really, there wasn't much out there. So I said, look, I am going to give myself a day to figure this out. So put it on the kitchen table, turned it upside down, noticed that it just took a few screws to take the casing off. I took a look and it was a simple like plastic tubing that had come dislodged that was causing the leak. I put the tube back into its little holder thingy, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. I called it a holder thingy. Put the case back on, plugged it back in, ice was working. I fixed our ice maker. And then I started thinking, I was like, how many people are like myself that are like, they can do this too. They just have to be told that this can be fixed, that if you have just a screwdriver, you can fix it. Why can't I video this also, show people what to do, and then give them the opportunity to fix their own stuff in their house? We've been in this house for almost 25 years. There are things breaking every single week that I am fixing. This is essentially never ending content, right? So why not film, why not video things that I'm already doing, already fixing, and show people whether or not I'm able to fix it or not. Every time I try to fix something, every time I try to change something on my own, every time I try, I'm learning and I apply that towards the next big project in the house. And then the idea just came to me. It's like, holy cow, this just could be a channel. Why can't this be one of the channels that I do? And could I add this to the existing podcast that I was doing earlier, where I'm talking to all sorts of different people, where we're, talking about, the OJ Simpson case. We're talking about who would you do on an airplane if it was headed to Epstein Island or whatever. Super inappropriate stuff. It was fun stuff. Trust me. But I started thinking as a consumer of my content, and there's just some things that I may be totally into that I create if I'm a listener, and I'm like, and there's other stuff that I'm like, I'm just not into that. So that's why I was like, look, DIY is definitely something that I should be doing, not as a professional, not as a person that knows how to do everything right off the bat, because I don't have a background in fixing anything. I just have this newfound can-do attitude that I am going to have to just fix this stuff because I have to, because we can't buy a new one. So that's pretty much where the idea started from, with separating a lot of the content into their own channels. And if you're on social media at all and you've tried to grow channels, whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, when comparing the platforms together, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, the hardest platform to get subscribers to get people to follow is YouTube. I've grown a channel on TikTok. I've grown a channel on Instagram. YouTube has always been the enigma for me. That I was talking to a friend of mine that also does social media quite a bit, and we're like, we just don't get YouTube. We'll just stick to Instagram, or we'll just stick to TikTok. And then here I am quitting my job at 50 to start 5 freaking YouTube channels. It's mental. And I am only a few months into this journey of mine on YouTube, and I already have 3 of the 5 channels that are showing some positive results, to where I'm like, I think I'm kind of on to something. I think I'm headed in the right direction. I am learning every single day, every single video, every single short that I post, all of the cringe thumbnails that I create and then A/B test and try to beat. And I'm like, okay, I'll throw up this thumbnail. Okay, let's put 2 more up there. Those all suck. Let's try something else. This is a creative endeavor, but it's also one it's almost set up like a game. And it's a game that you kind of have to win it's almost like Squid Game, right? It's a game you have to win in the end, because I need whatever my paycheck was with that job that I had that I quit. I need YouTube eventually at some point, 6 months to a year, to just replace that income, that portion of it for the family, for the household. I need YouTube to basically recover what I quit. I have to make it successful. So the hub channel's up over 500 subscribers. The DIY channel just hit 300. Entertainment channel just hit 100. My sports and my food channels, those 2 are ones I just haven't had a lot of time to feed content to those. But I will eventually. All the things that I'm learning from doing stuff on the hub channel, the DIY channel, entertainment channel, when I finally figure out the formula that I want for the sports and for the food channel, it should be a little easier. I should hit the ground running for those channels and get them up and going. So what are my short-term goals for the end of the year, for the end of 2025? Number one is to have 3 of the 5 channels at 500 subscribers so I can do the live super chats and basically unlock just that first level of monetization for the channels. I think currently you need 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours, which is going to be a little tough starting from scratch. Look, I'm going through it. I'm like you. You guys are starting a YouTube channel also. You know how hard it is to not only get the subscribers, but you need those watch hours too. That first baby step of 500 subscribers, 3,000 watch hours is a baby step, but it's also a huge step because it unlocks and opens up certain things to where you can start going live and start interacting with your subscribers and getting some super chat stickers and all that good stuff, which I've never been able to do. I don't know much about it, but I'll figure it out once I get there. Now, the long-term goal for all 5 channels are to be all monetized, to have, I believe it's 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours for all 5. That's the long-term goal. I can't tell you what that time frame is right now, although I would say if I'm not there by the end of 2026, then we need to reevaluate what we're doing, or I may not be able to even make it to then if I'm not bringing in something a little extra on one of the channels to make up a little bit. Does that make sense? But the short-term goal, 3 of the 5 channels, which are going to be the entertainment channel, the DIY channel, and the hub channel, to be at 500 subscribers and the 3,000 watch hours. I might have transposed some of those numbers earlier, but that's the first goal, that I want to get at least 3 of the 5 channels done by the end of 2025. And then you're going to see where we incorporate a little more live stuff on each one of those channels. Once I kind of unlock those 3 channels and kind of figure out what I'm doing, I think the other 2 will be a little easier to get to where they need to be over time. And it might be by next summer for those other 2 channels. But we are here this morning recognizing and celebrating our small victories, our small celebrations. 100 for the entertainment channel and then 300 for the DIY. So if you're starting YouTube on your own right now, whether you're 20, 40, 50 years old, stop on by. We can compare notes. We can cry a little together. But in the end, we can certainly help each other out in building up what we've got going on here on YouTube. I'll see you on the next video.